in the cradle of civilization, where the Tigris and Euphrates wove a shimmering path through sun-baked plains, a disquiet hung heavy in the air. Ziusudra, king of Shuruppak, a man whose beard whispered of ancient wisdom, felt it like a chill on his weathered skin. The gods, once a benevolent presence, seemed to turn their gaze away. Whispers reached the palace of a growing discontent amongst the divine. The ceaseless clamour of humanity, a torrent of life that had exploded from the clay at the god's command, was said to grate on Enlil, the earth god. Ziusudra watched the once placid skies churn with an ominous roiling of clouds. An oppressive silence shrouded the land, broken only by the frantic fluttering of birds seeking shelter. One night, a dream, vivid and terrifying, pierced Ziusudra's sleep. A vision of a world drowning in a churning, endless sea, the faces of his people contorted in silent screams. He awoke with a gasp, a cold sweat clinging to him. Fear, a serpent cold and coiling, slithered into his heart. Seeking answers, Ziusudra ventured into the temple, its cool stone walls offering scant comfort. He knelt before the statue of Enki, the wise god, his only hope. Days bled into nights, filled with a gnawing silence. Just as despair threatened to engulf him, a voice, soft as a sigh on the wind, echoed in the temple. Ziusudra, it whispered, the voice undeniably that of Enki. Relief, sharp and unexpected, flooded him. Yet the god's words chilled him further. A great storm approaches, Ziusudra, a cleansing by Enlil's fury. But you, who walk with righteousness, can be spared. Enki's voice faded, leaving Ziusudra trembling. A storm? No, a flood of unimaginable proportions. Panic threatened to consume him, but Enki's words, a lifeline in the churning sea of fear, held him steady. He knew what he had to do. With a feverish urgency, Ziusudra rallied his people. A storm of divine wrath is upon us, he declared, his voice heavy with dread. But hope, a flickering ember, flickered in his eyes. We can survive, but only if we heed the god's will. He revealed Enki's cryptic message, the need for a vessel, a sanctuary to weather the storm's fury. Confusion and disbelief gave way to a desperate determination. From dawn to dusk, the rhythmic clang of hammers and the groan of timber filled the air. Ziusudra, a beacon of unwavering resolve, drove his people forward. Days turned into weeks, then months, as the gargantuan vessel, a testament to human will, took shape. As the immense boat neared completion, a new fear gnawed at Ziusudra. Would the storm truly come? Or was he a fool, driven to madness by a mere dream? The skies remained stubbornly clear, mocking his frantic preparations. Doubt, a serpent with venomous whispers, coiled around his heart. Then, one day the sun, a blood-red orb, dipped below the horizon. The once clear sky curdled into an angry bruise, the air thick with the scent of ozone. A wind, cold and mournful, howled its approach, whipping sand into a blinding frenzy. In the distance, a low rumble grew, a monstrous beast awakening from an ancient slumber. Panic surged through the city. People, their faces etched with terror, clambered aboard the vessel, a desperate Noah's Ark against the wrath of the gods. Ziusudra, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs, watched as the last of his people found refuge. Then the heavens opened. Rain, a relentless torrent, lashed down, turning the world into a churning sea of mud. The wind, a banshee's scream, shrieked through the air, tearing at the mighty vessel. Ziusudra, clinging to the mast, his face slick with rain and fear, watched in horror as the city they had known, their lives built on its sun-baked soil, vanished beneath the rising flood. For 7 days and 7 nights, the world drowned. The storm raged with undimmed fury, a relentless assault on the lone vessel battling for survival. Inside, the air grew thick with the stench of fear and the cries of terrified animals. Hope dwindled with each passing day. On the 8th day, a tentative silence settled. The rain, spent, eased to a drizzle. With a trembling hand, Ziusudra peeked out, squinting against the weak light filtering through the storm-battered sky. The world was a vast sheet of water, the once proud city just a memory. Despair threatened to engulf him, but then a glimmer of hope pierced the gloom. A speck, barely discernible on the horizon, grew larger with agonizing slowness. A bird, its white feathers a stark contrast against the churning grey, circled the vessel, then landed with a graceful plop on the deck. It cooed softly, then dipped its beak into the water, a silent offering of peace. Ziusudra's heart, a clenched fist for days, unfurled a sliver. Carefully he released a dove, a fragile messenger into the unknown. It soared into the sky, a white speck against the bruised canvas, then circled back, landing with a disappointed thud. No land yet. Days turned into a torturous waiting game. Each sunrise brought a renewed hope, each sunset a crushing disappointment. Ziusudra, his once strong body racked with fatigue, found solace in tending to the animals and his dwindling supplies. Then, on the 7th day after the storm's fury had abated, the dove returned, a single green leaf clutched precariously in its beak. Tears streamed down Ziusudra's weathered face, a mixture of relief and sorrow, and a sliver of hope in a drowned world. Following the dove's journey, the vessel finally scraped against the soft earth of a distant mountain peak. The world, once familiar, was alien, a desolate landscape sculpted by the flood's rage. With a heavy heart, Ziusudra led his people, a haggard band of survivors, onto the new land. As they disembarked, a figure emerged from the mist, his form radiating an otherworldly light. It was Enki, the wise god, his face etched with a mixture of sorrow and satisfaction. "You have survived, Ziusudra," he boomed, his voice echoing in the vast emptiness. "But the wrath of Enlil has changed the world. Humanity will not be the same." He paused, his gaze sweeping over the weary survivors. "Henceforth your lives will be finite, a reflection of the impermanence of all things. But know this," he continued, his voice softening, "you have proven your faith. You and your descendants will carry the torch of humanity forward." With a final, enigmatic nod, Enki vanished, leaving Ziusudra and his people to face the daunting task of rebuilding their lives in a world forever changed by the flood. The once fertile plains were a desolate wasteland, a stark reminder of the god's fury. But amidst the devastation, a single green shoot pushed through the mud, a symbol of resilience and the enduring spirit of humanity.